Okay, I see that most of you are right back, which is a good sign. And then we can start with our last session before lunch break about the Digital Experience Cloud. I have the pleasure of presenting it. My name is Ivailo Ivanov. I'm the product manager in the Sitefinity team responsible for the Digital Experience Cloud. By the way, if you're tweeting, you can use our new hashtag for this summit, Sitefinity UK Summit. Come on, it's a marketing product. We need some Twitter coverage. Yeah, sure. So I was wondering, before we start going deeper into the product, how many of you have already received a demo of the Digital Experience Cloud? Yeah, fair amount of people, even Peter. That's cool because the Digital Experience Cloud has been live for almost 6 months now in a beta stage. And I was wondering whether we need to be talking already about the basics and what the product is all about, or going deeper because most of the people have heard about it already. Yeah, I guess so. So let's start with the beginning. Why are we building this product at all? So we have observed some digital marketing trends out there. We all know that the digital marketing budgets worldwide are growing and people are looking more and more into investing into digital marketing channels. But with that growth and its significant percentage of the revenue that companies are spending in digital marketing initiatives, it is still the case that most of the marketers believe they don't hit their goals. They're not doing what they want to be doing. But why is that? There are surveys that are showing what are the main reasons why the marketers do not believe to be hitting their goals and what are the major challenges. Do you happen to know the top 3 reasons? Can you guess? Any? Yeah? Okay, the subjectives are fluffy. That's one good try. Anything else? Yeah, everything is in silos, sure. Yeah, that's actually one of the reasons that they're mentioning in the survey. Okay, so, yeah? Budget, of course. Well, the study says that the first problem that marketers are finding is being able to reach their clients through all the channels. They don't believe their message is being heard. And the second reason they believe they have problems is because if they're running a digital marketing campaign, they don't really know if it was successful or not. So they don't have a clear measurement that they can go and say, yes, I invested this budget, I have these results, this is the return on investment, please give me double budget next year, right? That's what all of them want to do. But they cannot do it because the measurement is not clear. They are not provided with that. And it's a pity because the digital marketing is actually all electronic channels and they should be able to do that. They have the data. And here's what the situation is. So the customer engages through growing number of channels and the marketer is having problems with scattered data through different systems. Some data comes from Twitter, some data comes from phone calls from the sales department. And all that is stored, or sometimes even is not stored anywhere, and it's not analyzed. And it's not surprising that after this situation, they're really failing to do the measurement and see if the campaigns were successful or not. Here is a typical situation of the omni-channel challenge. So think about it. Becoming a Facebook fan of a company, requesting a demo through the website, which is then stored in the CRM system. You have email campaigns. You're buying marketing automation systems for large quantities of money and engaging clients with email campaigns. But all that is still another system. Then you have the website, landing on a homepage, using some web resources. Are different types of interactions that people are doing with the company, and all those are still stored in another system. And finally, even mobile apps. Now we're in a mobile era when people are more and more requiring to have something from the company on their mobile device. And they're engaging mostly through it rather than through the website. That's why we have provided the Digital Experience Cloud. The Digital Experience Cloud is an innovative marketing solution delivered by the Sitefinity division in Telerik that helps you to understand and personalize the customer journey no matter what the channel is, no matter where the contact is, and to be able to increase and measure the increasement of the return on investment that you have for all your digital assets. And that's the core purpose of the product. let's see in perspective why we imagine this product is useful and where, in which stage of the marketing department journey from different phases to more complex marketing challenges this product is utilized in. So first thing that typically digital marketers engage with is web analytics. So typically what you want to do is put on a landing page and have a button that says contact us or download our brochure or something like this. And you want to see, first of all, how many people land on this page. You want to see how many of those people have hit the button and have contacted you as a company. And that's a very simple analysis, right? It's done by even the free version of the Google Analytics. There are plenty of web analytics out there that are doing it, and that's already solved as a challenge. It is something that you can achieve with the Digital Experience Cloud, but it's not our core value proposition. Then what the marketers are starting to do is to treat their contacts as leads. They want to nurture them. They want to track data about them. They want to take their email and use it for email campaigns. They want to gather all the data and see what kind of marketing workflows, not only email campaigns, but other types of marketing workflows they can run over those contacts. And there you can typically see the marketing automation systems out there, which have been offered for like 10 years or more. And again, this challenge is more or less solved. You can already nurture your leads. That's not a problem. The problem is another thing. The complexity of what you're building is not manageable over time. When the data is growing, you have more and more complex models that you need to build in order to find out where the lead is, what type of lead that is, how do you approach the lead, and so on. And this complexity means more costs as a matter of marketing people doing not what they're supposed to do, finding out how to address the people better, but fighting with some system configurations and updating some records in systems and so on. So what is the final phase? If you look into the entire customer journey and you don't care about the complexity of this journey, it can be complex, the model can be complex, but you are guided by a system that can tackle this complexity, you have an advanced customer analytics system. And this advanced customer analytics system is something that you can use in order to take the entire journey into one place, analyze it, optimize it, and measure the results. No matter what are the channels, no matter what is the amount of data that you have and the complexity. And that's how we market the Sitefinity Digital Experience Cloud. The Digital Experience Cloud actually covers some features that you need for marketing automation. Basic features like scoring your leads in order to be able to address them in a certain manner, like in an email campaign. Some very simple workflows, like sales department receives an email every time a new contact on the website registers and becomes a marketing qualified lead. That's covered by the Digital Experience Cloud. But the real power of the product is into understanding the entire customer journey in one place and building complex models by itself without you having to configure everything every day and fighting with the growing complexity of the model. In order to do that, in order to be able to deliver on this promise, we need data from plenty of different systems. We need data from CRM if you're using it. Of course, most of the people are using it. You need social media channels. We need marketing automation, mobile apps, everything that your company is offering. Everything needs to be in one place in order for us to be able to give you the best recommendations, the best analytics over what's going on. And that's exactly what we are delivering. So all that data is uploaded to the Digital Experience Cloud, hosted currently in Microsoft Azure. And based on the Digital Experience Cloud, you receive analysis of the customer journey. You get recommendations based on predictive analytics, how to optimize the customer journey. And in the end, all your actions that you're taking with the system, all your campaigns that you're running in and outside the system are measured by the system, and you can get results and you can get your return on investment percentage that you were looking for. Now that I have been through some overview stuff about the product, I want to start presenting what the product is all about. In order to do that, I'm going to use the same quantum scenario that Peter already used in order to present to you how Sitefinity websites are being built. But here we are going to tackle one specific challenge that our imaginary marketers that are working from Quantum have. And this challenge is they have found out that from enterprise leads and enterprise customers, they have an increasing number of revenue. And they want to optimize their website in order to get exactly more enterprise leads. And there are plenty of ways to tackle that, right? So Peter already created one page that's called Enterprise Security, and it's a very good way to engage with a relevant content item with all the enterprise customers that would be interested in learning more about the security that Quantum offers. So they would go and read this article. But the next challenge there is, how do they offer it to the right audience? How do you know that you're not pushing your enterprise security article to some gamer that just wants to go there and buy his next tablet and doesn't really care about enterprise security? And for that reason, I'm going to start the persona scoring feature demo of the Digital Experience Cloud. I'm right on time.
One more demo, one more.
Just the demo, yeah. Don't worry. Let's exit this demo. So that's one bit that is already delivered actually in Sitefinity 8.0 that I'm going to show you. In 8.0, you get this Digital Experience Cloud menu over here in Sitefinity. And when you click on it, you get all the key insights that are currently coming from the Digital Experience Cloud directly served into Sitefinity for a quick reference. First, I have to...
You're in airplane mode.
I am. So in order to get those, of course, you need to be online, as you already noticed. I'm going to just connect to the system because I need to show you this. It's an exciting new feature of Sitefinity. And here it goes. So all this data is, as you saw, dynamically coming from the Digital Experience Cloud and served into Sitefinity. And what we can see here is that the marketers that are working on Quantum website have created 3 different personas, or those are the most important 3 of the 4 personas they have created. And they have defined models for scoring contacts entering those personas. And we'll see in a second how they have achieved that. Here, what you can see even in Sitefinity is that our enterprise persona, the CIO, that represents about 10% of the audience, which is completely fine because that's enough to get enough enterprise leads and draw our revenue higher. If you click on a link directly in Sitefinity, you will be drawn directly to the cloud, which is driven by the Digital Experience Cloud application in Azure. So going there, you're already in the cloud, and you can see the CIO persona. What we know about this persona right now is that this many contacts have been recognized as this persona in the past days, and we know the rules that the marketers of Quantum website have used in order to recognize which contact matches which persona. And for this persona, they said that if the contact downloads this file, or visits this page, or visits this page, or downloads this file, those are all different actions that are coming automatically from Sitefinity to the cloud. Those people will be receiving 15 points each. So for each of these actions, 15 points are assigned to a contact. And we know also that they have considered any of those 2 actions, so 30 points, are enough for a contact to be considered an enterprise persona. And then they will start serving this contact enterprise content. And you can also see in the Digital Experience Cloud all the contacts that are known, and they have submitted their email through Sitefinity, and they were recognized already as this persona. Note that the Digital Experience Cloud works also as well with anonymous visitors, but because they are anonymous, we cannot show any data here, so they are excluded from the detailed contact management over there. What you can do with anonymous visitors, however, is even before they have submitted their contact profile information like emails or phone numbers, you can still target them with personalized content. They don't have to be registered in order to do that. So now that we know which is this persona, what do we do with this information? This model is running, we have these rules, we have these contacts that are recognized. What do we do with them? In order to do something with them, you have at least 2 options. One option is you can export the contacts. Exporting the known contacts means all the email addresses plus all the contact information is downloaded as a file, and you are able to address them with an email campaign, with manual phone calls, with whatever your sales department wants to do with those contacts. Knowing that those are enterprise leads and they should be approached by the sales guy that is responsible for enterprise leads and so on. On the other hand, the more exciting thing that you can do with this is an automated workflow with Sitefinity that allows you to personalize the experience on the website exactly for those contacts dynamically. So let's go back to Sitefinity and see how that's achieved. In a marketing menu, you are having this personalization module that's already there from Sitefinity 6.3, I think. And now it's enhanced with the power of the Digital Experience Cloud. What that means is that if you're creating segments of contacts here in the module, you already can use things that are coming from the Digital Experience Cloud in order to target the right audience in each of the segments. So I'm going to just create a new segment. This is my enterprise segment. And from the set of characteristics that I already have from Sitefinity, those are things that Sitefinity knows about, I can have a persona definition from the Digital Experience Cloud. Can you all see it, or can I drag it up? No, not really. Here in the persona characteristics, I would say that I want this segment to be targeting the CIO persona, so all contacts that are recognized as CIOs based on my rules. And that's all that I need to do in order to get this segment going. So this is my segment definition. And with that, I can personalize any web page in Sitefinity and create another version of this page particularly for this segment of contacts. So particularly for all CIO contacts. Let's see how that happens. My enterprise leads are important, so I'm not going to personalize just any page. I'm going to personalize the home page. So in the home page, what I can do, I say personalize. I have my new enterprise segment already here for my choice. What Sitefinity does right now is copying the entire content of the page from a separate place so that I can edit it and put a banner that leads to something else, put a personalized message for enterprises, whatever I want to achieve. So let's see what I can do with my enterprises. First of all, I don't want to promote glue-on to them. I want to say enterprise hardware needs enterprise security. And I'm going to, of course, promise from their behalf that we offer both. And of course, I'm not going to mention prices of single laptops, but I'm going to say here just changing the link, I'm going to say find out more. And I'm going to link to exactly the page that my colleague Peter already created under, yeah, over here. So directly a link to the enterprise security page that we have just created. And actually I can even personalize the picture. So I'm going to change what this picture shows. Change image. Yeah, this one. Peter is the master of Sitefinity. So secure laptop banner that we have prepared. And we have a completely new version of this homepage. So the messaging has been changed, the image has been changed, and this is going to be visible to exactly the right audience, right? It's not going to be served to everyone. Once I do that, what I can do is do a preview of the page. So if I log into the system and do some stuff, score myself as an enterprise contact, I'll be served directly with this version of the page instead of the usual homepage. I'm going to say publish in order to make sure it goes live. And that's it. Now my homepage is personalized for two different segments. The one that is personalized already by default and has another version. And for enterprise clients, I'm already serving my new page on the Quantum website. Now, as we said, just personalizing the message is never enough. You want to know what you have achieved with that, right? It has been running for some time. You need to see if people that already have seen this new page are becoming your enterprise clients. And to be honest, just web analytics for that is not enough, because people can become enterprise clients without hitting your e-commerce shop, right? They can just call you by phone, call a sales representative, they create a record in the CRM system, and the purchase is there, while the website has not found out about this purchase at all. So what you need to do in order to find out whether this page has influenced positively your enterprise sales is import data from the CRM and then cross-reference this CRM data with the information coming from Sitefinity about this personalized page. And let's see how that looks into the Digital Experience Cloud. So this is the main screen that you're going to see about your current account in the Digital Experience Cloud, with information about interactions, contacts, and so on. But also what you can see is what is the touch point with your clients that is mostly influencing your goals, what is mostly influencing what you want to achieve. And surprise, surprise, we have our homepage personalized for enterprises on top, which means after a couple of months, let's say, of tracking, I already know that this page is the most important asset I'm putting ahead for my enterprise clients. How do I know that? Let's go a bit deeper into details. So first of all, I have defined what conversion means for the system. And conversion for my system means I want contacts to become enterprise leads. Again, they don't become enterprise leads on the website, right? They become enterprise leads in the CRM or in marketing automation system. Because I have imported this data, I can define that in the Digital Experience Cloud like this. So conversion means contacts who become an opportunity for enterprise sales. And that's something, again, that the website doesn't know at all at this moment. And based on this conversion definition, I can see how many different conversions I have per day. So how many contacts have become enterprise opportunities every day. But more importantly, going back to the main dashboard, I've defined touch points. Touch points means the most important things I want the system to track for me and to cross-reference so that I can compare. And if I go to the list of all touch points for the Quantum marketing, I can see what are the touch points by number of hits that Quantum marketing managers have defined. So for example, I know that the homepage personalized for all visitors, so basically the non-personalized version, is hit about 95 times in the last 30 days. While the homepage personalized for enterprises is hit about 19 times. However, that doesn't mean anything yet. What really matters is which of those pages really brought more enterprise customers, right? You expect that the personalized version of the page will bring more enterprise opportunities than the non-personalized one. Otherwise, we failed with the personalization. So how you can really see that? You can sort those touch points by their attribution. And sorting by the attribution means finding out how many of the contacts that have been on this web page with this personalized version of the web page have afterwards become opportunities in the CRM. Because the CRM data and the website data is integrated in one place, you can really do that with the Digital Experience Cloud. And what you can see here is that contacts that have been on the personalized version have about 5 times more tendency to become enterprise opportunities than the average. Well, that cannot be said by the homepage that is for all visitors. It has only 1.7 attribution index. Let's see a little bit more detail. So if you go to the conversion tracking that you have already defined, getting more enterprise clients, you see the top touch points that are attributing to this conversion. And you can see that out of all the digital assets that they have been tracking with the Touchpoints functionality, the most important one is the new homepage, personalized for enterprises. The conversion rate of this page, as it shows here in detail, is 4.55, while the conversion rates of all the contacts that you're tracking, basically all your website visitors, everyone that has interacted with the company, or a particular segment if you want that, of course, is 0.688, which means, again, 5 times difference, which means, again, you can show that your personalization of the web page have succeeded and you are drawing more opportunities to the website. Again, measuring not a button click on a web page, but the actual goal, purchasing or becoming an opportunity, which comes from the CRM. And again, this attribution functionality that we are offering is not only used for personalization measurement. First of all, you can use it for any digital asset that you have. You think of one white paper that you want to create, you put it up on the website, you can see which kind of conversions it influences positively. You create a new landing page, and you can count, first of all, how many contacts have hit the landing page, and out of those, how many have purchased your products or have become important clients for you. And last but not least, this functionality is very nicely used with A/B testing. You're, I guess, familiar with the concept of A/B testing. You put 2 different versions of a page, you show it randomly to different people rather than targeting different people specifically, and you want to find out which version works better. And typically what marketers do in these scenarios are comparing the success based on some website metric. Because you're doing A/B testing on the website, you typically compare it with some success criteria on the website. What you can do here is compare which ones of those clients that have visited the 2 versions of the web page actually bought afterwards, which is a completely new level of return on investment measurement for your A/B testing scenarios. And that, again, is something that you can easily configure with the system. Even if currently A/B testing is not offered out of the box with Sitefinity or the Digital Experience Cloud, any third-party provider can do a simple call with the Digital Experience Cloud. And to be honest, our marketers in Sitefinity are already using that. They are doing A/B testing and measuring its success with the attribution. It's really something that does not require the IT department to be involved a lot in the configuration. So that's one main way that you can use to utilize the system. But it's only the first scenario I wanted to show, so I'll stop for a couple of minutes if you want to ask any questions at this point before we move on to some different scenarios. Yep?
I'm just curious as to why they're negative on there. Does that mean it's...
Yeah, that's a good question. So the question is, I'm repeating it for the sake of the microphone, what those negative numbers mean. Does that mean that this resource is a bad resource? Yes, we have negative measurements, and those negative measurements mean that people that have been through this resource, have downloaded this, for example, 7 reasons to choose quantum white paper over here, tend to convert less than average. Less than average means less than everyone that you're tracking. And that's a signal that you might want to consider if you receive that for a digital asset. It's a rare case from my perspective, based on what I have seen, because usually people that are interacting with the resources are engaged already and they have higher than average conversion rate. But even then, even if all your attributions are positive, you can use those to compare which is the more important one and which is the less important one. And if you also consider the budgets that you have put behind those resources, so I have personalized the homepage in like 30 seconds or so, and it's so important for the enterprises, while the white paper, which was probably written in 3 days by someone, has a negative attribution that's already an insight that you can use in your marketing efforts.
Can this also scale multi-touch points? In other words, if we take this to the next level of granularity, particularly with the negative numbers, is it that if we look at enterprise security story, we had 70 touch points, that's a pretty high number. Did they then go on to another action, which is what is being attributed to, let's say, the 5 times as much? Is it multiple actions or not? Is that?
Yeah, that's a fair question. Again, to repeat it, what is the granularity? Is it fair to say what is the granularity of the touch points that you can define and you can track? Like you can have 70 different actions. Can you track all of them? Can you track groups of them? That's what the question is about, right?
Chronologically, how are we attributing the 5 times based on technically
Yeah, that's also a fair question. So first, let me answer this one. What we are tracking is chronologically that the conversion happened after they have interacted with the touch point. That's what we are doing. So if a contact in the last 3 months or 6 months or whatever the period you define in the system for the analysis interacts on the 15th of March with the touch point and on the 20th of March becomes an enterprise opportunity, that means the attribution is there, it's counted. If it's the other way around, they have become opportunity and then 5 days later they interact with the touch point, the attribution is not counted. It's 0 from our perspective because that's not what made them convert.
What if they are still not an attributed lead, but they have 2 touch points in 1 visit to the site? How is that attributed?
It depends on what you define as a conversion. If, for example, for a conversion you mean registering, that's one granularity of conversion tracking, right? So if you want to track how many people registered based on interacting with this resource, you can do that. It's a matter of defining first the conversion tracking, registering, and then all the touch points that you believe people will be hitting before registering, and then you can see, basically you can compare any 2 interactions with this system, right? You can define any interaction as a conversion and any interaction as a touch point, and you can see if this touch point attributes to this conversion. So at any level you can do that, at any level of the funnel. Top funnel, bottom funnel, purchasing, and so on. The demo is about purchasing because that shows really the strength of the system of getting somebody from the top of the funnel and tracking all the journey from the bottom, getting the purchase from the CRM and attributing the first actions to the last actions. But you can do that multi-level. You can define conversions like registering, then contacting us, then downloading a trial or whatever, or then purchasing. And for each level, you'll find out that there are different resources and different touch points with different attributions. And that's something that on this granular level, so each touch point is automatically compared with each conversion tracking, the system can tell you. And about the granularity of the touch points, then the second question, unless you have any follow-ups for the first one. So what the touch points are, I didn't go into details. The touch point can be anything that the system knows about, regardless if it's coming from the website or the CRM or the mobile application or Facebook. And it can be a group of those things that you consider to be the same. For example, I have recently defined a touch point for one of the Telerik products, which had, we wanted to track if a getting started PDF was being downloaded and if it attributes to the journey. It was actually in 3 different locations. And for my analysis, it didn't really matter if they're downloading it from this location or from that location. For that purpose, we have defined the touch points in a way that you can group them together into one touch point, and the system does not care at that point whether they can interact with the first, second, or third location. And you can do that with any kind of, for example, if you have 5 types of purchases of 5 different products in your marketing department, all those can be merged into one conversion tracking or one touch point, in order to find out if they're purchasing at all, and then you can define more granular goals or more granular touch points in order to get deeper into the analysis. You can do both basically side by side. And yeah, that's the kind of UI that you're getting for the definition of a touch point. That's the full list of events that the system knows about. This list is auto-populated based on everything that the system knows about up to now. At least 15 of those are coming automatically from Sitefinity out of the box. Once you connect it, you get those every time. All the rest are actually imports from different systems that we have simulated here for this example. So if you want to do, for example, download file from one location and then download file from another location, you can just group them together and hitting any of those URLs that I can define here. Let's see what I can get. Those are the different URLs that the system knows about. I can have 2 different files. That means that whatever of those files is downloaded, it counts as one touchpoint hit. Also, because we are merging information about different contacts from different sessions, if a contact downloads the file twice, we don't count it as 2 times. We count it only as once because that's what matters in the end of the day, if the contact has seen the touchpoint or has interacted with the touchpoint or not. So again, that's something that comes out of the box with the system.
How much of the integration is out of the box? So other connectors for things like Microsoft Dynamics
That's a fair question. So currently what we are doing is preparing connectors for Dynamics CRM. Actually, we have prepared connectors for Dynamics CRM, Salesforce, and SQL-based third-party systems that we don't know about. Those three can be integrated fairly easily with the Digital Experience Cloud. What we are working on right now is exposing those connectors in the cloud so that you'll be able to just go to administration and configure your Salesforce and import the data without having to involve developers to write scripts. Okay, they will be still writing the scripts, but they don't have to install different machines, different tools in order to achieve the same. So those three connectors are ready. They'll be exposed online pretty soon. I think about a month from now, in the end of April, we'll have live the first data integration tooling UI. And what is left by the end of the year is everything that I have put on my slide for the data integration. So let's just refresh it over here.
Licensing work then, so would it be one cost just to get the Digital Experience Cloud license and then add-ons for the different CRM system points?
Yes, yeah. The licensing model will be like this. You purchase Digital Experience Cloud, and then you'll get additional add-ons for different systems that you want to plug in. That's the current strategy for the licensing. Let's just see the list. So we believe by the end of the year we'll be ready with all that out of the box. While even now, if you start integrating Digital Experience Cloud on some site, you can easily get to those because we are providing JavaScript SDK, .NET SDK, and REST API that's public, and you can just write code against it and integrate data from any system that you want. And again, if you start your integration earlier, we are able to provide you with our data integration framework technically, not with the UI, so that we can support such kind of efforts if they start before the end of April. So that's, I don't even believe that's the full list. So for example, in the marketing automation area, we're pretty sure we will have another couple of systems, including the Sitefinity email campaigns, which will be integrated out of the box by the end of the year. And all the data from there will also hit the Digital Experience Cloud. Fair answer? Anything else? Yeah, another question.
About customer profiling. I just wanted to understand, it's a two-part question actually. The first part is the difference between, you were saying, anonymous users and users you know. And the second part, the scoring of that customer. It was based on a total number. You said like you can give 15 points if you visit one part of the site.
Yeah,
15
yeah,
points.
yeah.
But
So
that's an aggregated number. So how do you tell the difference between, say, your gamer and your, if it's point-based scoring?
yeah, so to repeat the question, the first part was how do we separate the anonymous and the known visitors, how do we deal with those? And the second part was how do we calculate the scores based on the actions of the user on the website. So I'll go directly into the system to answer those. What happens with the anonymous visitors is that because Sitefinity is now offering real-time personalization with dynamic calls to the Digital Experience Cloud, if I go to the website, and I'm completely anonymous. I have never been through the website with this PC, no cookies are there, no nothing. Immediately a record for me is created in the Digital Experience Cloud. So every action of mine is directly sent to the Digital Experience Cloud. And at this point, I'm an anonymous user. If I do 4 things, and then a couple of minutes later, I do a 5th, it could be the case. It takes a couple of minutes for the system to process the results. Of course, it's not milliseconds. But it's a real-time personalization. So if I'm an anonymous contact, the system will become serving me personalized content fairly fast, a couple of minutes after I have done the actions, regardless of the fact that I'm known or unknown. So for Sitefinity personalization, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't count known versus unknown. It's all just contacts. They're served content. We don't care if they have provided their emails. For the DEC UI, where we are showing the contact management, we do care because for the anonymous contacts, what we know is an internal ID, right? It's nothing that you can work with in the UI of DEC. So what we show here for each persona is just the known contacts. And you can work with them based on different metrics, like who has become this persona in the past 5 days, or the past 10 days, or the past 3 months, regarding of your scenario. And how do we score them is the second question. So they're basically aggregated based on the first hit of this rule. So if I download the file, I'm immediately given 15 points. Then if I visit this page, I'm given another 15, I get 30. 30 means, based on this persona definition, that I have passed the threshold and I'm considered to be part of this persona. And if that's the case, I'm shown here in this contacts list. And if you open the contact, you can see several things. First of all, everything that the contact has submitted through the website, shown in a nice manner over here. Everything else that we know about this contact and was submitted in the system. And we know that this contact has 45 points of scoring towards the CIO persona, which means 100% similarity. Well, technically it's 150%, right? It's 30 is the threshold. The contact has got 45. And what I can see also here is for this persona, what's the scoring clock? So when and which of the actions this contact has executed in order to achieve this scoring.
But the actions are unique to those points. So
The actions are unique. So if I download the file twice, I'm still counted as 15 points. It doesn't count every download because they refresh the page and they hit it 3 times. It doesn't count as 3 different pages. It's just still counts for one.
The points can only come from these pages, not. So you say you're scoring a gamer as well, and a gamer has separate pages.
Yeah.
And that's also got 15 points.
Exactly,
So
yeah.
to a 30 point
So for each persona, you have a separate set of rules.
Okay.
They can be somehow similar because you can have like marketing executive persona and marketing professional persona. And for those, you can have similar rules with different levels of scoring and completely different rules. And actually, if you go to edit a rule that's defined for a persona, let's go and see that. So if I go and edit this rule, besides changing the points that I'm providing here, I can also provide the same points to another persona. So if I already have this page defined, I don't have to create another rule. If I say show all personas are shown. So currently, if I download this file, this white paper, I'm given 0 points for business users, 0 for developers, 0 for gamer. But I can change that over here, and you can give different number of points. Yeah, another question?
Just your Twitter plugin integration. Assuming you've got the anonymous user, I'm going to use Twitter as an example. If somebody then retweets something from there, will you grab their identity from their Twitter handle and then pull it back in and turn it into a non-anonymous person?
That's also a very good question. So that's how the system is supposed to function. But because that's how the system is supposed to function, that's what we are probably going to do. But I cannot answer it right now because we have not actually implemented the Twitter integration. But yes, if you are doing Twitter integration for the system right now, what you would be doing is providing the unique identifier for this contact, like the email address that you can get from Twitter or anything else that identifies this person in Twitter, and the system can map all the Twitter behavior from this user from now on, or back in the past, if different interactions have been already tracked in the system anonymously, everything is attributed now to one contact. So that's how the integration of different systems is done. It's not just putting the new interactions in the system, but also putting the mapping between what the contacts in this system are identified by and the contacts in the Digital Experience Cloud are identified by, so that everything ultimately lands on the single contact view that I have just shown. So everything is just in one page.
And just in the same vein, is LinkedIn on the radar for?
Yeah, maybe it was missing on the slide, but sure the LinkedIn is.
And it's probably good to mention that, you know, they start as anonymous users, but the minute we get their identity from either a form on the website or some external system, like if they contact our department in other channel, the anonymous user becomes a known contact.
Sure, and hence the Twitter question, because actually you'll grab their ID from, you know that's held by Twitter, so you then don't need them to log in or give you their email address, you've got the data.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
pull it from Twitter.
Exactly. That's how it is supposed to work, and that's how different systems should be brought together to the Digital Experience Cloud. So API-wise, SDK-wise, it's already there, but we are going to allow it to be configured by the end of the year in the data integration UI in the system as well.
And if you wanted to do...
Sorry, another question over there, but yeah, go ahead.
how do you sort of deal with different platforms, sort of the browsing on the mobile site and then they go to a desktop version, do you actually have some way of tracking between the two?
Yeah, that's also a good question, and I'm going to get into even more details later when I'm showing what are the next steps. Actually, what we are planning for the next couple of months, next 4 months actually, is to start supporting all the mobile platforms. So out of the box, you'll be able to integrate with iOS, Android, or Windows Phone devices. And the minute a user is identified there by something, anything that identifies it for you, like email address, names, or something like this, the data is also aggregated under the same contact profile that we are getting. So that's why you'll see in the system marketing materials 360 degrees marketing profile. That's exactly what this means. That if a user uses the mobile app, everything is gathered in one place. If a user uses Twitter, it's again gathered into one place. The only thing is that you need to be able to identify the user by something. So if the contact is anonymous on the mobile app and anonymous on the web page and the contact never logs in, it is likely that the mapping is complex between those two. Even then, you have some ways to achieve it, like there are third-party databases that we want to integrate with again this year that provide you with IP information, like who is on this IP, which company is it, and so on. If you integrate something like this, then yeah, it's even in that scenario it will work. And the other question over there.
Yeah, sorry if you've already covered this, but I might have missed it. So I get that when you can identify a website visitor by email or something, you create a contact in the cloud for them.
Yeah,
Start
yeah.
storing all the visits and traffic data against them. If they're an anonymous visitor, do you still store that as a contact but as an anonymous contact?
Yes, yeah. So let me just repeat the question so that it's recorded. So the question was if an anonymous contact browses the website, do we still store the session information in the system? Yeah, we definitely do that. For any kind of contact, we don't care if it's a known or anonymous. So go ahead.
During that session, are you able to pattern match those anonymous visitors just like you would an identified visitor against a certain persona?
Yeah, we're doing exactly this. So what we are doing with this stored information is that if I browse the website as an anonymous visitor and all my different interactions are already stored and they are already scored, so I get my persona scoring, like I can get it to 100% even without registering on the website. First of all, I am served with the personalized content already. And second, if I later register, all the previous behavior that was tracked was automatically given to me. So I got the history already.
So you can persist that pattern match through the cookie that you've stored on there?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's basically what we're doing.
And
Yeah.
that's pervasive, so long as somebody doesn't clear the cookie, if they then come back in 3-4 days later, continue and then register, you can attribute what they've done before.
So if they clear the cookie and they begin another session, then it's a challenge, yeah.
Yeah, no, so long as they haven't cleared it.
It's, as long as they haven't cleared it, yeah. It's another session, but it's going to be linked with the same contact and shown as this contact history, regardless at which point of the journey the contact actually registered. Yeah?
In relation to content personalization to suit particular personas, obviously the more personas you've got, the more pages you're building, the more workload you're going to increase. How
Yeah.
can you kind of limit the impact on productivity of content creators?
That's a very good question, and I have two answers of that. So the first answer for that is that we offer better features than that in order to manage more complexity of models, as I mentioned in the beginning. This is the more basic representation and the more basic segmentation modeling that you can do. And in a couple of minutes, you'll see a completely different approach that deals with large quantities of data, large complexity. And the second answer is that by the end of the year, actually, we're planning an enhancement in Sitefinity and the Digital Experience Cloud that will allow you to automate this usage of insights from the Digital Experience Cloud to Sitefinity. So you don't have to all the time create another version of the page, create a new segment, and all that workflow. If you want to do it 1,000 times, I understand it's not going to be very pleasant. Yeah. We're going to produce something like a rule-based engine where you say these kinds of things should be exposed to Sitefinity, and in Sitefinity you say this is the typical content reactions that you want to have to personalize based on those experiences provided by the Digital Experience Cloud, and the system should ultimately function automatically from that configuration point on. Yeah? please.
The deck, it is running in the cloud, or and where do you store that information then?
Yeah, the Digital Experience Cloud is currently running in the cloud with Microsoft Azure Platform. The information is stored primarily right now in the United States, but we are planning for different customers to offer the opportunity of storing it in different locations based on any regulations that you might be worried about.
Okay, so it is possible to say, okay, everything that I store only should be in the cloud in the UK, or?
Yeah, that's what we can do.
And we also plan to have something like a private cloud in case that you want to have your data on premises, so not in the cloud. The whole architecture of this thing is that it allows us to bring everything down.
Georgi, just
yeah. So at some point, if there is demand, we'll provide also on premises DC.
Yeah, for cases where really the security is a huge concern, on premises can be provided, with the disclaimer that if you run it on premises, the pricing is different than the one that we are suggesting to the general audience. Yeah, another question.
In my experience, one of the issues with those systems is that the marketers don't know how to create a profile. I'm not talking about technically, I'm just talking generally. Just qualify, as I said. And you will provide help or workshops to help, say, our clients to work with the system.
Yeah, so again, several different things in that direction. First of all, we are going to provide a guide, best practices of how do you do that, targeting exactly the marketers. Apart from that, we are going to offer some level of consulting sessions. We are already actually running a partner program about certifying Sitefinity partners in order to be able to explain all that. And we have our first certified partners even here in the room. That's the second thing. And the third thing is, in the future, we even plan to offer some kind of free consulting sessions for the beginning of the usage of the product, so that we ensure that everything runs smoothly. Yeah?
Can all the results it can be clear? For instance, when we having a testing phase or acceptance, then you will build up all kinds of statistics, and is it possible to clear the data from the cloud? Or?
Yeah, you can definitely do that. We are currently exposing that through our REST API, so if you're in development phase, you can use that easily. But in the future, with the data integration capabilities in the administration area, you'll be able to do that even using the UI. So you run an import like from a CRM system, you see the results, you like them, you don't like them. If you don't like them, you just delete them and start all over again in order to not disturb the marketing screens with data that is not supposed to be there.
Yeah.
You can do that. There was another question.
Question is, can you basically scrub this, put in new parameters, and get a different result from the same data set?
Yeah. What in particular do you mean by different parameters?
The example of marketers incorrectly creating a persona. So can you basically, with the same data set, form new personas and get the same analytics?
For the personas, that's not yet possible. That's something that we can do if a client asks us to do it. That's not impossible, but out of the box, if you score a certain number of contacts with a certain persona set, and then you figure out, yeah, but I actually got it wrong, I will start all over again. Out of the box, the system will start calculating the new rules only for the new contacts that are coming in the system. However, if you're a serious user of the persona functionality and that's important for you, we can certainly figure something out in order to apply the rules back in time.
Have you ever said anything about the any marketing plans too that are going to go on to raise awareness amongst the wider audience and potential audience?
Well, to be honest, that's one of the one of the events that we are running in order to achieve that. We have already done a webinar. I'm not sure how many of you have seen it, together with representatives from Forrester about marketing and how the Sitefinity 8.0 helps people achieve better results. We have already started exposing videos that are recorded by particular partners. Like we have one video from American Eagle, from the US that's already on the website. I was actually going to play it for you, but I didn't have the speakers right here. You can already go to the website and just play it. And we'll have actually a huge plan of events by the end of the year, which will be supposed to raise awareness and position Sitefinity in the marketing area appropriately. So there are plenty of events and so on.
There's another quick point to add that we're pleased to announce that we're sponsoring the e-consultancy Top 100. So what used to be the new Media Age Top 100 agencies list, we're going to be headlining that in the summer.
Yeah.
We will build up some more knowledge of the product there.
Sure.
Is there a way of creating a time wasters persona? Because I imagine this would be quite useful if you've got a really high value proposition as a brand. Some people will just browse this kind of stuff endlessly with no real intention of buying it.
That's actually something that I believe we should have in the best practices guide. So I believe that there are certain pages like careers page on your website that you want to make sure that people that hit this page do not become your leads or marketing qualified leads or whatever. So that certainly you can do. Certainly you can do. By the way, I want to, because we are kind of out of time for this session, I want to spend another 5 minutes explaining the unique value proposition of predictive analytics of the system. And then if, with your permission, of course, we can continue with the Q&A session. Even outside the bounds of this presentation, I'll be around, so you can ask me anything else that you want. Just, I want to make sure that the second scenario also gets to you, because it's really exciting and something that you don't find into many marketing platforms out there. Yeah. So, yeah. So what you have seen by now is one way of segmenting your leads and contacts, and this is the way defining the segmentation by the marketer. One way to do that is by resemblance to persona, as already demonstrated. Another way to achieve that is staging the buyer cycle, like in the lead scoring scenario, where you want to find out who to contact, regardless of their type of contact. Is it enterprise? Is it a marketing professional? Is it developers? Just a general scoring model that allows people to go to the sales department when it's the right time in their marketing funnel. And that's a feature that already is offered by the product, and it's called lead scoring. I'm not going to get into details. It's, I would say, standard functionality. If a contact reaches a certain level in the funnel, an automatic email notification is sent to the salesperson responsible for that, so that they can further engage with this contact. And if you want to find out more details about this feature, I'm again available afterwards to explain in more detail. But all those are defined by the marketer segmentation approaches. What we offer on top of that is segmentation driven entirely on the data. So segmenting your leads based on machine learning predictive analytics models that are running over all the data that the system knows about, and finding out what are the most important segments, and more importantly, for each of those segments of clients, finding out what's the most important interaction that you need to offer them. So what is common with the persona and the lead scoring is that you would probably do a particular set of actions on those clients that you define. Like if you want to have lead scoring over the clients and 100 people are scored with a high score, you would probably just pick up the phone and call them, or include them in an email campaign and send them emails. However, it is already proven by usage of data that different contacts typically require different things in order to convert. Some of them prefer to be addressed by email. Some of them prefer to read a document to get convinced themselves. Some of them prefer to read a success story from another client. And all those things are different ways to approach them, and each contact has their unique way that's the best in order to convert the contact. And that's the only way to find out which this way is, because if you have 1 million contacts, you probably have at least 1,000 segments based on their different behavior, where they have been on the website, have they liked anything on Facebook, and so on. And for each of these segments, there is exactly one thing that's the best next experience that you need to deliver. And that's what the driven by data automatic audience segmentation of the Digital Experience Cloud delivers. And I'm going to show you in just a couple of minutes, without starving you to death, before the lunch break, how that is achieved with the Digital Experience Cloud. So going again to the same dashboard, you have already told the system what are the conversions that you care about, right? All interactions that are important, you want to consider them a success scenario, and you want to see how many are those, what are the resources that are important for them, and so on. But they have one more important function for the system. And that is, now the system knows what a success scenario is and how a successful journey ends. It can actually provide automatically the recommendations that will help you address those clients in a unique way in order to bring them closer to conversion. So what you can see here is the recommendations for Quantum website. We have at least 3 different things that are recommended. First of all, our famous enterprise security page. Second of all, the financial report of Quantum. Who knows? It's obviously important for the enterprise leads because they want to see how the company is actually doing financially. Probably not your first choice of marketing material, but if it appears here, that means the data says it is important for certain number of clients. And also the free security assessment for bringing your own device. That's an interaction actually that I'm not sure if you all can see. I'm going to zoom in a bit. The free security assessment for bringing your own device is something that the CRM knows about. It's not on the website. Our consultants call the client, they talk with them and so on, and the CRM knows that such assessment has happened. And that's, again, a candidate for the best next experience. The best next experience does not have to be a digital one. It can be offline with a digital footprint. So what actually those 3 mean? All those 3 are addressing different segments of clients. Let's take a look at the free security assessment BYOD. So most importantly, for each of those predictive recommendations, you have the information who to target. And that's very important. If you're looking into the attribution, for example, it always talks about your entire audience that you have defined, or a specific subset of the audience that you have, again, defined in the system. However, what happens here is the system is telling you for which exactly contacts this is important, while for the others, for the other contacts browsing the website, it could be not important at all. So offering the free security assessment for bringing your own device is exactly important for contacts that have played the Quantum for Business video. So obviously they are interested in the business value of Quantum, the financial report page, and the enterprise security page. So if a contact hits all those 3 pages, the contact automatically is considered as part of this segment, just like with the persona, right? And served with personalized content for this segment. And here we don't only have the segment definition, but you also have what to do with them. And here is offering the free security assessment for those clients, which means if I want to personalize the website for those guys, I would offer the free security assessment exactly for them, not wasting my time and money to offer it for other people, but just for those that in the past statistically has shown a higher probability to convert if they are given the free security assessment. And also statistically you can see what was happening in the last 3 months. So I have the conversion rate that is 0.2, but it can go up to 0.7 because that's the conversion rate of those that already have received the free security assessment. And if I apply this recommendation, the maximum result that I can get is up to 28 more conversions, but 28 more enterprise clients in this case is a significant number. So that's what the recommendation is telling me. And based on this recommendation, in order to see if I can use it in some way, I can define a campaign and track if this campaign works as expected. So if clients that have received the free security assessment actually convert. So the system is testing itself. It does not just believe that because it has recommended you this action, it will work, but it will test exactly on your audience if it works. And just a quick overview of how that happens. If we go back to the conversion tracking, we have already a running campaign over this conversion tracking, getting more enterprise opportunities. That's my campaign. It is a targeted campaign for a segment that the system has identified, no manual configuration, no maintenance, no nothing there. And it measures 2 things. Am I converting the clients more than before? So yes, in this case, 5% more than before I converted from this segment. So we know the history about this segment. We compare with the new data about this segment. And have I engaged the clients? So are those clients that are targeted by this campaign now more likely to request a free security assessment than before? So based on my personalization on the website, similar to what I have already shown, have they clicked on this request free security assessment or not? Or they're just converting because I have increased my conversion rates entirely. So those two things are the ways that you can use to say this campaign has succeeded or not. And this campaign has succeeded because I have done the right things, or it has succeeded because my conversion rates are going up in general. And of course, it offers statistics on a daily basis how it is going, although those are less important because generally you would want to use large quantities of data to see statistically relevant results, like 2 months, 1 month, something like this. Now is the time to take questions about this story. I've presented it relatively fast, but again, I'm ready to explain it in more detail to any of you that want to know more about it in the break.
I was just going to mention that with this approach, actually, there is no emotions. It's all about what the data says and all about what resources, what actions people take. So it's no manual lead scoring, manual personas. It's all found out automatically by the algorithms.
Yeah.
So it's pretty innovative as well.
That's exactly the case. Any questions? Again, you can ask me personally afterwards. No problem with that. Or should I pass the word to my colleague James over there?
It's just between now and March.
Yeah.
Specifically looking at the content architecture side of things and hooking in the Experience Cloud with Sitefinity and the categorization, taxonomy side of things, what's the kind of longer term plan, i.e. you can define and configure specific touch points which will denote a certain kind of persona trait or behavior. From the point where the lead score has reached a certain point, to make sure that user journey continues to be rich, can it hook into the categorization and taxonomy side of Sitefinity, i.e. can you tag a certain group of content as that's enterprise persona, and therefore from that point on calls to action and dynamic content will be fed automatically, so it will have that level of intelligence that it's kind of self-optimizing.
Yeah, I think what you're asking about is whether the system is smart enough in order to give the content editors some insights, whether this content should be used by this persona or this persona, or grouping together things that are similar for a certain persona and so on. Is that fair?
Yeah, so if I click a number of different links and download a white paper, I'm therefore X persona, but then I continue to have a journey through the website, and from that point onwards, will the intelligence through the Digital Experience Cloud, will it be there to say, let's go and grab all the relevant content that's been tagged up as relevant to that persona, and then start serving that ongoing? So it goes back to the point about not having to have 10,000 touch points set up in advance to cover all possible eventualities. It's kind of more of a broad brush approach from that point on.
Yeah, I got the question. So the answer of this question is similar to the answer that I already gave to another person over here. Is that in the future we are going to be in the future, and by future I mean this year, we are going to offer automated way for you to define those rules. So you don't have to consider every resource, every persona, every segment, but all the insights that are coming from this predictive module over here. So any recommendation, now that we have the context, any recommendation will go to the website automatically, and this person that is recognized as a part of a certain segment, automatically again, will be served with the best content, again automatically. So if you have this set up up front, you have content that recommends this, and this resource. Those resources will be served automatically to the people that are in the right behavioral segments that the system has identified. And in this case, what you would configure is just the rules, which recommendations to take, and how to present them in the system. But everything else between Sitefinity and the Digital Experience Cloud just works out of the box.
Is it possible to block personas out of certain content? So if we have a product that is price differential based, offer based, and you want to block certain personas out of content, and then you can give access
By
to persona.
by blocking, you mean, for example, not serving the content to the contact that has become a part of this persona. So what I imagine is that you will need, again, personalization to do that. So if you have a list of features, you can just show a different list of features for a contact that has been identified as a persona that does not care about all those features. So not show the list of features at all, for that matter. Yeah?
When a user gets enough points to be put into a persona, do they stick to that persona, or can they switch to a different persona if they get other pages on the site? Because that might lead to an inconsistent experience.
Yeah, that's an interesting corner case. A contact can actually become two personas because they're showing different traits of behavior. And then they'll be receiving personalized content for one persona and for the other. And if a page is personalized only for one of them, the contact will be served with this page. If for only the other, with the other page. And if the page is personalized for both personas, there is a way in Sitefinity to identify which segment goes first, so what is the priority. And that's how we control this, by configuring it.
So basically each persona can be like a 20% developer and 8% marketer. And if we see that this person is 80% marketer, then we see the marketer's page.
I think another question, or no? Okay.
Last one for me is probably snowball. How do you deal with spam traffic, bad traffic? How does bad traffic affect
Again, great question. We have already scheduled in our roadmap, I think for May, if I'm not wrong, maybe June, but not later, to have filtering of traffic based on IP addresses. And that's one way to deal with it. And also another way to deal with it is also another thing that I said, you can delete certain traffic. So you can say, okay, once per month I'll see if there is some strange behavior, some strange interactions that I don't care about, and just wipe them out. That's another thing that you can do.